Drunken pop, we're diving deep. The memories we swore to keep. Unfiltered tales that'll make you leap. Into your past we boldly leap. Timmy speaks of games and dreams, old cartoons and backyard schemes. Nostalgia hit like a mighty wave. In this show, we misbehave. Double days with pockets full, bringing tales that always pull. Step heads, cackles with a glance, unleashing legends from our trance.
Hello and welcome to another sort of edition of Drunken Pop. Dave's not here; he's on vacation because
he's always on vacation.
Correct. So joining me as always, Timmy C's here.
Who?
You. And we wanted to get together today and do something. We started doing notes for the June of '89 show we're going to do next, and we just realized that we cannot do that show without Dave. Like, the movies are just loaded. So
good news. Darren Staley, not on vacation.
Not on vacation. Oh, you know who else is not on vacation? Ronnie Millsap's not on vacation.
Correct. It's Millsap. There is no S at the end.
There's an S, according to Darren. There's an N. I believe him. So we're going to talk about, we got a fun game to play today. Timmy and I were kind of doing it before we went on the air. And I'm like, this is way more interesting than anything else we're going to talk about today. So we're going to do this here in a little bit. And, there was, we talked about something yesterday, and a certain player of the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. And you said that, what did you say? How last night's game was going to go?
I said the Knicks would win, and they should have.
Did you say they should have?
Yes, they should have.
That's what happened.
Correct. That, by the way, not Tyrese Halliburton there.
That's Miles Turner.
Correct. And you sent me a message today and said, who hit that game-winning shot last night? Not Tyrese Halliburton, by the way.
You're right. He hit the shot to send him in overtime.
Because he's a dumbass, and his step back three turned out to be a 2, which shouldn't have went in because it bounced 8 feet in the air after it hit the rim. I don't know how it went in.
8 feet's being generous. It was like
the ghost of freshly passed Jim Irsay was there to guide that sumbitch into the cup like Angels in the outfield. No way they should have won that game. But Tyrese Halliburton, not as much to do with it as you would think.
That's also
what was
true,
the guy's name? Nick Nemeth?
Aaron Nesmith. But yeah, we'll talk about we'll get in the box score here in a minute. But I read something this morning that kind of surprised me. It's not something I don't do it often. It hurts, but it's not something you'd normally think about. That's why I found it curious. Is that I think I'm trying to remember the exact number. I believe it's like NBA teams that are down by 13 with under 4 minutes to go in the playoffs. They're like,
they were 0 and 900 and something.
Well, it's not that I know which one you're talking about. It's not the same one, but they were like, as of last night, they were like 4 and like 13.
Oh, 4 out of like 1,300. Yeah, I heard this.
The Pacers have 3 of them in these playoffs.
Yeah.
That is batshit for one. So, before we get into
Knicks in 6 is what I heard.
I don't think that. I think Indiana is going to. If you go into Madison Square Garden in game 1 and take it, I think I like.
They didn't deserve it.
What does that mean?
Pure lucky shot.
Did it go in?
I think
that's all that matters. So just in the spirit, here's a little something we talked about last night that I'm sure Timmy would like to forget now.
Back in those days, the Pacers had Reggie Miller, who is a absolute killer and
Yes.
pure clutch.
Yes. Still my favorite player ever.
The Knicks now have Jalen Brunson, who is the modern day Reggie Miller, who, when the lights are the brightest, he turns it on.
Have you ever heard of Tyrese Halliburton? There it was. I have. Because he single-handedly beat the Cavaliers.
Congrats. They didn't have LeBron.
So, that happened. Tyrese Halliburton sends him into overtime last night.
On a lucky-ass shot.
It went in. That's all the people need to know. Here's your box score. So, for the Pacers, Halliburton led the way with 31 points on 12 of 23 shooting. He also added 11 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. Only had 2 turnovers.
That's the impressive part. The only 2 turnovers.
Had a plus 15, plus or minus. Aaron Nesmith second with 30 points.
He scored 18 of them in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
That's who you should be cheering.
I didn't say he wasn't good.
He's a role player.
Pascal Siakam had 17 points and 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And Andrew Nembhard had 15 points. So,
by the way, you messaged me this morning and said, who hit the game-winning shot last night?
I saw that clip, and I thought it was the game winner. I didn't watch it.
Do you want to know who hit the game-winning shot?
Was it Nesmith?
Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin. That's awesome.
It's not. It's terrible.
For the Knicks, leading the way, Jalen Brunson had 43 points.
What else was he going to do?
1 rebound. I mean, he could have grabbed a couple more rebounds.
He's
5 assists.
5'4".
He had 7 turnovers and a plus minus of -8. Matter of fact, the only starter that had a plus minus in the positive was Karl Anthony Towns, who put up 35 points and 12 rebounds. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby both had 16, and Josh Hart had 8 points.
Well, so now OG Anunoby missed 2 free throws down the stretch that could have iced that game, but that's neither here nor there.
And by the way, the Pacers this year were 20-20 on the road, and the Knicks were 27-14 at home.
Okay.
That's bananas.
You know what that tells me? Knicks are going to win game 2. Knicks and 6.
I don't know about that. They played in tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, in Madison Square Garden, 8 o'clock.
Who you got tonight? Western Conference Finals.
We got who's
Minnesota and Oklahoma City.
And OKC.
OKC is up 1-0.
Only because I don't think this is going to be a 4-game sweep. I'm going to pick Minnesota.
I don't.
But this might be their one. This might be their one.
So. I think OKC is going to knock that dick in the dirt. I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep, and Minnesota will get one in their own building.
I could see that.
But I don't think this is the game they're going to get.
So is
baseball? Your Cubs are excellent.
Dude, my Cubs. Let's talk about it. By the way, I love Twitter because
you're the only person that ever says that. I love Twitter.
Well, it was I saw the account I follow. It's called Obvious Shirts, and the guy is clearly a Cubs fan, and that's fine. But he was talking about the Cubs are 30-20. They're on top of the division by 3 games. So on and so forth. By the way, they have the 3rd best record in the NL. They're tied for 3rd with the Mets, behind only the Phillies and the Dodgers. So he
best record in baseball though.
Oh, in the NL.
No, who's best record in baseball? You know that?
The
Lou
Detroit
Whitaker's
Tigers.
favorite team.
The Detroit Tigers, 33-17. Javi Baez suddenly remembered how to bat, which helps them.
Does he know how to not strike out though?
No, he still does that quite a bit.
Okay, he was excellent at that.
But it was the guy just posted something about the Cubs. Like it wasn't overly nefarious. Clearly a Cubs fan. You're right. And the first guy that replied was a Reds fan.
Of course,
and he said, "Really, you're bragging about having the best record in the worst division in baseball? Excuse me, dumb shit. Your team's in that division too.
Yeah, and we ain't great.
You're contributing to how
we're contributing to the worst division in baseball.
Yeah.
But we are only 1 game under 500.
25-26.
Yeah.
Consistent 5-5 in your last 10.
We swept the Indians for the first time since 2000. 10 or something. Then beat the Pirates 7-1, and then I put up like 1 run in the next 2 games against the Pirates. Not even facing Skeens. We didn't even go up against Paul Skeens and lost.
I love this too. At home, the Reds are 13-12. On the road, 12-14. You guys are just down the line.
Right down the middle, going to be 81-81 at the end of the year.
So right now, the NL East has 3 teams at 500 and above. That'd be the Braves at 24-24, which is kind of surprising. The Mets at 30-20, also surprising, but for the opposite reason. Juan Soto is just terrible now. And the Phillies are at 32-18. The Central has 2 teams above 500. Your Reds are 25-26. The Cardinals, who were, abysmal last season, they're 27-23.
They're going to fall to the median. They've got to.
They're 27-23.
Not a good baseball team.
Well, they're 16-8 at home right now.
Yeah.
And they're 11-15 on the road.
They are not good, though.
And the Cubs are 30-20, and they are 15-10 at home and 15-10 away. By the way, Jerry Rafferty, right down the line, I have that song on my phone, and it's tremendous.
I love his restaurant.
The NL West, are you ready for this? They have 4 teams above 500.
Yeah, they're good. They spend a lot of money in that division. Well, I don't know if you know this.
There is another reason, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. So the Diamondbacks are 26-24. They're 4th. 3rd is the Padres. They're 27-21. The Giants are 2nd, 29-21. The Dodgers leading the NL West 31-19. They are 19-8 at home, but 12-11 on the road.
Their payroll is $47 billion.
But this also can be contributing to all the NL West good records. The Rockies are 8-42.
42, yeah. Ooh.
They've won 3 games on the road, which sounds terrible until you realize they've won 5 at home.
Get a humidor.
Like the White Sox were the worst team in baseball by a lot last year, and the Rockies are on pace to beat them.
By a lot. It ain't close. The Rockies are on pace to win less than 30 games this year.
And by the way, the White Sox have the lowest win total in the American League. They have 15.
Yeah. Double.
So let's go over the American League. In the American League West, 2 teams above 500. The A's are 22-29. And the A's are trash, and they've won 22 games. The Angels, 24-25. The Rangers, 25-26. Surprising, they just came off World Series 2 years ago. The Astros, 25-24. The Mariners, 28-20. But look out, the Angels, 8-2 in their last 10. AL Central, White Sox, 15-35 at the bottom. Cleveland, 26-22. Royals, 28-23. By the way, Bobby Witt Jr. is legit. That dude's a beast. No thoughts? Okay. Minnesota.
Billy Hamilton.
You're right. He's way better than Billy Hamilton. Minnesota 27-22, and the Tigers 33-17. And then the AL East, Baltimore, 1 game better than the White Sox, 16-32.
Just fired their manager.
And probably too late, I would argue a lot of people. The Rays 23-26. The Red Sox 25-26, the Blue Jays 25-24, Yankees 30-19. So let's look at some of the league leaders as of this point, because I want to talk MVP. Because I think this year could be an interesting year for both the Cy Young and MVP.
I don't think Skeens is not as good this year as I thought he was going to be.
No, and the unfortunate thing with Skeens, now granted his pitches have crazy velocity, but when you're throwing 101,
I'm going to tell you right now,
they will just sit on the
have a really good starting pitching rotation. They can't hit the fucking ball. If we could get a hitter, we would win a lot of games. Do you know how many games we've lost? 1-2 to nothing.
That I am curious. I kind of want to look to see the best run or closest run differentials. I think would be fun to look at. But batting leaders in all of baseball right now, Paul Goldschmidt of the Yankees is batting .337 for the Yankees.
Cardinals legend.
By
the way, washed with the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, he was done with the Cardinals. Will Smith of the Dodgers batting .339.
Did he slap Chris Rock to get that?
Probably.
He was getting jiggy with it out there.
Oh, nice. Jacob Wilson of the Athletics. How about that?
Where does he play?
.342. Who?
Will Smith.
Dodgers catcher.
So he plays in the Wild West.
Wild NL West, yeah.
AL.
Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers batting 368. Aaron Judge batting 396. So you have 2 Yankees and 2 Dodgers.
396?
396.
Jesus Christ.
And he was above 400, I think, until this week.
Get rid of the torpedo bats. I'm done with it.
Are they still? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
His work with Steelers wheel was better. Stuck in the middle.
That's not us. Who just?
No, that's definitely pond water. If he's mentioning Steelers wheel, that is pond water for sure.
Will Smith stuck in the what?
No, he's talking about Jerry Rafferty.
Oh.
Home
I
run
still
leader.
love his restaurant.
Home run leaders: Corbin Carroll of Arizona
Diamondback
with 15.
Jesus.
Cal Raleigh.
You got like 22.
He's not on the top 5. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's third. We'll get there.
Okay.
Cal Raleigh is third with Seattle with 16. And by the way, Cal Raleigh also batting like 202. Aaron Judge third with 16.
How many does Nino have?
Yes. Well, like in the European League, because I'm pretty sure he's not in Major League Baseball anymore.
Playing in Tokyo.
Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarber lead the league with 17. And Kyle Schwarber just hit one like 1,300 feet a few days ago. That dude
didn't actually hit 1,300 feet. That's impossible.
So I looked, somebody mentioned this. Schwarber's like 12 home runs behind Ohtani right now. So there's a very good chance both of those guys, I mean, barring injury, both those guys are going to hit 500 home runs. But the thing with Schwarber, if you hit an even number, 525 home runs. You hit 525 home runs, but you bat 212 for your career. Are you a first ballot Hall of Fame? Are you a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because, again, we talked about Dave Kingman not in the Hall of Fame.
Baseball loves their numbers.
And he had 360 home runs and batted through 213 or something
If you get 500 home runs, or if you get 3,000 hits, which anymore you're not going to get it, but if you get 300 wins as a pitcher, doesn't matter if you have 600 losses, you're still getting in. By the way, Aaron Staley very right about made repopular when used in the scene Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir, absolutely.
Where he sings into the ear that he cut off. That's
the unfortunate part. I would say more people know Steelers Wheel because of that movie than they did before or since.
Correct.
Dave Kingman, by the way, hit 442 home runs, batted in 1,200 runs, and batted 236. Not in the Hall of Fame.
Should have got 500 home runs. He'd have been in.
542 home runs. I think that was Thurman Munson. Never mind. Let's go to runs batted in top 5. Oh, by the way, Pond Water shamelessly plugging in the comments. Love it. Markout Moments tees now on sale at jumpinthepond.com for $11.89.
If he could put a picture in there, we'd show it.
I don't know if you can do that.
He can. He can put a picture of it.
That's true. He can.
In the media assets.
But then he knows if he shows up, we're going to put him on screen. So that's probably
no. He can do it from behind. That's what Tep says anyway.
Oh, boy, I don't know if I would have said that. RBI leaders: Spencer Torkelson of the Tigers is 5th with 39. He's tied with Rafael Devers, who I forgot.
I don't know any of these guys.
You don't know Rafael Devers?
I watch Reds games. I don't watch anybody else.
He's like a multi-time All-Star. Wilmer Flores of the Giants has 42. Seiya Suzuki of your Chicago Cubs has 43.
I like his motorcycles.
Suzuki, yes. Aaron Judge with 44. Let's go to stolen bases. Are you ready for this stolen bases?
I could probably guess a couple.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Is Ellie De La Cruz on there? No.
Third was 16.
Oh, is he? Bobby Witt Jr. is probably on there.
Third was 16.
Look at him. Who would number 1 be?
Pittsburgh Pirates.
I can't think of his name, but yeah, he's.
It's not Dave Parker. O'Neill Cruz.
It was never Dave Parker.
O'Neill Cruz has 18.
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz, his brother.
We got a Red and a White Sox are the other two.
Who's the other Red?
No, a White Sox and a Ray.
Oh, you said Red.
I didn't mean to. I meant Ray.
Billy Hamilton.
It's Jose Caballero of the Rays has
Alexander
15.
Hamilton.
And Luis Robert Jr., the White Sox, has 17.
Hamilton the pig. The great.
So let's go. So out of those numbers,
Eric Davis. Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Judge has to be AL MVP right now, right?
Yeah.
396, 16 home runs, 44 RBI. Possibly very much a contention to win the Triple Crown.
He's not going to do it. It doesn't happen anymore.
Miggy Cabrera just did it like 10 years ago.
He did not win the Triple Crown.
Miguel Cabrera?
Did not.
Yes, he did.
Did not.
Yes, he did.
No one has won the Triple Crown since Ted Williams.
Okay. Dear Google, when did Miguel Cabrera...
Hey, Siri, did Miguel Cabrera win the Triple Crown?
2012.
Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown in 2012.
Siri, are you full of shit?
Do you want to lick my beehole now or later?
Siri doesn't have an answer for that. I don't know.
Sure. So Aaron Judge probably the... There you go. See?
There we go. Hit it from behind, just like pond water.
I would put it on screen, but he has no headphones on, so
because he's hitting it from behind. Can't be.
He's not. That. I can see him. I can see him. He's not.
You can't see what he's hitting
in a handsome polo shirt, by the way. So Aaron Judge, I would say, pretty easily is the AL MVP. So I would say NL MVP right now is probably. See, this is tough because you don't have one guy leading 2 or more categories in the NL. So I would say right now it's between Ohtani, probably
Ohtani will get it off name value.
Oh, sure.
As long as he has a decent year.
Probably Ohtani, I would say, and again, this is not me being a homer. This is legit. Pete Crow Armstrong, probably the Cubs right now, is in it. And, I mean, where do you go after that? Corbin Carroll?
Probably.
Maybe?
Well, I'm going to be a homer and say that the Cy Young, if he keeps his shit on track, is going to be Hunter Green. Dude is pitching out his mind.
No, Nick Lodolo. By the way, Brady Singer has more wins.
Yeah. Well, Hunter Green missed 2 starts. He was injured. But like the top 3-4 of the Red staff all have ERAs under 3. They just can't score any fucking runs. Even their bullpen's not terrible.
All right, so wins leaders as of today, and I'm going to go over the ones they listed because there's like.
By the way, hello, Billy Sellers.
Yes, hello. There's like 39 people tied for second. So
for what?
What they've tied for second for pitching wins.
Oh.
So what they have listed. Fuck this advertisement. Oh my God! Stop it!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Carlos Rodon, Max Fried, Hunter Brown. Fucking, I'll read the whole list.
Hunter Brown.
Robbie Ray, Max Fried, Jorge Lopez, Casey Mize, Hunter Brown all have 6 wins. Your league leader is Brandon Pfaadt of the Diamondbacks, has 7.
That's a lot of wins, 50 games in.
Yeah, in May that's a lot. ERA, Nathan Eovaldi is 5th with 1.6 of the Texas Rangers.
He's good.
Tyler Mahle of the Texas Rangers is tied for 3rd with 1.47.
Cincinnati Reds legend Tyler Mahle. By the way, that's going to come back to the media, and he's not going to continue that.
With arguably one of the best baseball names ever, Chris Bubich of the Kansas City Royals at 1.47.
I love Bubich.
Yeah, I know you do. 2nd, Cody Senga of the Mets at 1.43. Max Fried leads the league of the Yankees, 1.29, which is insane, by the way. Saves leaders. Emilio Pagan has 12.
He does.
Of your Cincinnati Reds. He's
not
5th.
Even really our closer. Like, he's a substitute closer.
4th is
you Carlos... know why he's got so many saves? Because we can't score any runs. So even when we win, it's a 1-run game.
It's 1-0. Like, listen, it's 0-0 in the 8th. Get out there.
Yeah.
4th is Carlos Estevez of the Royals with 14. Kyle Finnegan of the Nationals and Robert Suarez of the Padres both have 15. Andres Munoz of the M's has 16. So Nathan Eovaldi, Zach Wheeler, and Hunter Brown also all have 8 quality starts, which is batshit. So I would say going wins, Strikeout leaders is Garrett Crochet, Tariq Skubal, Carlos Rodon, Zach Wheeler, Mackenzie Gore. And quality starts. That's tough. Hunter Brown is there for.
I think they just misspelled Hunter Green.
It's not.
They're colorblind, is what it is.
Hunter Brown is right there right now for Cy Young. I would say Max Fried is there.
Yeah.
6 wins, 1.29 ERA. And I would third, just again, rough Evaldi.
I think you should go Tyler Malley.
Why? So he can just fall off the face of the planet like in a month?
Because he's going to. That'll be fun.
But I mean, Evaldi's got 1.6 ERA, 8 quality starts. And let's see how many wins he's have. If he doesn't have more than 5 wins, it's because the Rangers are the shits.
By the way, I don't know if I've told you this, TJ. Baseball is fucking boring. So we should probably cover something else.
Okay. Do you want to play our game? Because that is also baseball related, but I think our fans.
Yeah, but it's 80s baseball, so that's more fun.
Yeah. So here's the game.
Everyone watching, hop in the chat because
we're gonna play a game here. So I was telling Timmy here before the show started that a friend of mine at work, his brother and myself,
huge nerd, by the way.
All three of us giant nerds. So we're looking to get into,
especially Magic the Gathering cards. You were a super nerd.
Don't rush the bit. They don't know that yet. So we're looking to get into the trading card business and start doing some trade shows.
Idea. You should open a candy shop next.
Maybe I'll do both. And start making some actually we've already bought a table for a card expo in September. So but my buddy Colin has over $10,000 in Magic the Gathering cards, and I have several, I'll say $500-600 worth of baseball cards, soon to be a lot more because I'm
by the way, Colin.
Yeah, Colin hates your face. So what I was doing here is I have an entire set of baseball Topps 1988 baseball cards. I have the whole set here.
You have names. We're going to put teams to the name.
Yeah, so I'm going to read you a name. And these aren't going to, I'll do some big names because, some people like Bill Buckner earlier, we found out played for the Angels in 1988. But more often than not, I'm going to read you just a random guy. And we're going to see how many of you guys are good and can tell me what team they played for in 1988. Timmy, are you ready?
Darren Staley's fixed his chat and it's not lagging anymore.
Let's see if how we do. Let's start with this. He is now a manager in Major League Baseball. Phil Garner here in 1988.
Ooh, Phil.
Where did he play?
Was he a Red Sox?
He was not. Complete wrong coast.
Was he a Brewer? No, he manages the Brewers.
He does.
Okay. Was he?
I also just
Indian?
Said coast. I also just said coast.
Well, it could have been the coast of Lake Michigan.
No, it's not the Lake Erie coast. Or the Lake Michigan coast.
Either
Ocean.
one. Space goes coast to coast.
That's a phenomenal.
What do you got, Darren Staley? Where do you think Phil Garner is playing?
It's in the NL West.
Angels.
NL West.
Angels.
NL West.
NL West is not a Padre.
Yes,
or maybe he just thinks he's a priest. I don't know.
No, he is. The Padres are. What are you doing?
Oh, NL. Shit.
It's not the Padres, though.
Giants.
No.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers. Play with the Dodgers in 1980. Let's go to Frank Tanana.
Frank Tanana.
One of my favorite names to say.
Was he still a Met at this point?
He was not.
Indian?
Nope. You really want to say that
Brave.
Team? No. They are leading the AL Central right now.
That's current day. I don't know what that baseball is.
They're leading the AL Central right now.
They're not the White Sox then. We know
that is true.
Tigers, because they got the best record in baseball.
Detroit Tigers.
Where all did he play? Look at the back of his baseball card.
Okay, well, this is only to 88, so let's look at this. Here by 88, holy shit.
Yeah.
He started with the Angels in 1973. Angels until 80, then the Red Sox and the Rangers, and this was his 4th season with the Tigers. Put him back in. Careful. I should be wearing gloves technically when I'm doing this.
Not for a Frank Tanana card, you shouldn't.
Let's go to Ken Phelps.
Who?
Ken Phelps.
Is that Michael's dad?
It could be. It's very
well, then I'm going to go Baltimore Orioles.
Wrong side of the country again. Not a coast, though. Well, I guess technically it's on a coast. Northwest.
Seattle
Mariners.
They're the only team in the Northwest.
It's true.
The Oregon Trailblazers.
Oh, that would be a fun team. Why has that not happened yet? Let's do Candy Maldonado.
Oh, Giant. Got to be a Giant.
Yeah, it was a Giant.
Because he went to the World Series with him in '89.
He did.
Great name. Love
up
Candy
next.
Maldonado.
Oh, the OG. Lance McCullers Sr. Where was he at in 1988?
White Sox?
Wrong.
Give me a hint.
NL West again.
NL West. Okay. Cincinnati Red.
And the NL West.
Well, at the time they were in the NL West.
I meant current NL West.
Oh, okay. I made that joke specifically. You are welcome. Padre.
The San Diego Padres. Yes, that is correct. Let's do Wade Boggs is too easy. Paul O'Neill.
Boston Red Sox.
Also too easy. You're not going to say Paul O'Neill?
Paul O'Neill, he was a Red in '88.
He sure was. Let's get a good one here. Let's get a good name. Rafael Belliard in 1988. Wrong.
Indian.
Wrong.
Those are the only two teams I know he played for.
The Pittsburgh Pirates would be this one. Let's get another good one here. We'll do a couple more. Mike Shosha's here.
He was a Dodger.
Dodger.
Pretty sure he played his whole career as a Dodger.
Did he?
I think so.
I love that the Pirates leaders card is Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. Barry Bonds with a mustache, by the way.
Bobby Bonilla, by the way. 10 more years he's getting paid $1 million every July.
What a life that man's lived, you know?
By the way, proud of the Reds. Finally knocked Griffey Jr. off the ledger this year.
You're proud of them for doing nothing? Because that's just time. Said you're proud of them for doing nothing? Because that's just time.
I'm proud of them. They didn't sign him as long as the Mets did Bobby Bonilla.
There is that aspect to it. Let's see if you can guess a manager.
Okay.
Lee Aaliyah.
Huh?
Lee Aaliyah.
I don't even know who that is. Lee Aaliyah.
So the answer is no. Philadelphia Phillies. Here we go. Ron Kittle.
Manager?
No, he's a player.
Okay. White Sox.
He was a DH. He was with the White Sox till 86. This was his third season with this team.
I don't know who he went to. Twins.
New York Yankees was that one. Let's get another fun one.
Darren, he said he was a DH. He was definitely not in Philadelphia as a DH.
Yeah, Ron Kittle was a DH there, yes. He actually said DH on his card, which almost never happened. Usually they gave him a position, even if it was arbitrary.
Position was behind her.
Yes. Oh, we're back to that again. Let's do Tony Fernandez.
Blue Jay.
Toronto Blue Jays. There you go. We got him back on track. Doug Jones. Oh, there's a couple good ones on this page.
Pirate.
Doug Jones. No.
Indian?
Yes. Okay, there's two.
By the way, you can look at his baseball card. He was a Pirate before he was an Indian.
Yes, you're right. Sweet Carney Lansford's the next one on this book. Bert Blyleven.
Bert Blyleven was a Twin.
He was a twin.
Or had he been traded to the Mets?
He had not yet.
Okay.
Let's see. Another manager on here, Bud Black, but he was a pitcher back then.
Bud Black pitched for the Indians, I believe.
Well, let's see. Let's see if I can give you a half a point here. No. This was his 7th season with this team.
Giants?
Right division.
Oh. AL Central.
Also, Colin just texted me and said you're gonna throw down over this Spotify ordeal.
Tell Colin to lick my log cutter. Where did he play? I don't know.
Kansas City.
I did not know Bud Black pitched in Kansas City ever. Read the back of his baseball card. Where did he pitch? He had to that has to be like a quick stop on his.
So no, this was his 7th season with Kansas City. Been there since '82. He had spent 1 season with Seattle in '81.
Don't remember him as a player.
So you're just all around wrong on that one. Dave Parker shows up here.
88, he'd have been a Red.
He sure would have. Alan Trammell.
Tiger.
I love reading these future stars because I haven't heard any of them.
I love the future stars because I remember them. Because when I opened them, I was thinking they're gonna be worth something. And
this card's gonna be worth something.
Wally Joyner.
And then none of them were worth a shit. Actually, Wally Joyner actually had a decent career. He's just underrated.
Can you get a future star and be underrated?
Well, I mean, over the entire career, I would say Wally Joyner's underrated.
Well, not at the beginning. At the beginning, he was overrated because he was going to be a serviceable player.
That's fair. How about
not a future star? He was a future average player.
Yeah, he was future. I think he made the All-Star team 2 or 3 times in his career. Jim Eisenreich. I didn't even know he played for this team. I first saw Jim Eisenreich.
Angels or White Sox?
For the Orioles or the Marlins. No.
Neither?
Neither.
Don't know then.
The White Sox division.
Cleveland Indians.
Kansas City Royals again.
That's what I said.
Let's see. What else we got? We got a couple more good ones here. Greg Maddux shows up. Billy Ripken.
Greg Maddux would have been a Cub at that point.
He was a Cub.
Billy Ripken's an Oriole.
Yep.
But not as good as his 1989 Fleer card with fuckface on the knob of the bat.
How about this? This man just passed away. Chet Lemon.
I believe he was Tiger.
He was a Tiger here. Good job. Greg Harris pitched with both hands. Where was he at here in 88?
Sorry, what?
He pitched right-handed and left-handed. He had a 6-finger glove. He had a glove with 2 thumbs on each end, or a thumb on each end.
That's weird. No idea. Idea.
Texas Rangers. Ooh, I got some all-star cards coming up here too. By the way, I have a Matt Williams card here.
Giant.
And if I believe this is his rookie year, not a future star, and he went on to hit like 360 home runs.
Yes, and he gained a lot of weight after
he did. He was very skinny in that picture. Let's see if there's any all-star.
By the way, all-star game 1988 at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio.
And this is a pretty loaded all-star team. Although I've never heard of Matt Noakes. Do you know who he played for?
Was he an Indian?
He was not. Okay, you're in the neighborhood. He was a catcher for the Tigers. Let's do Tim Wallach.
Expo.
It was an Expo. Nicely done.
Expo right there.
I threw a curveball at you because he also played for a team that doesn't exist anymore. Juan Samuel.
Philly.
Phillies. Nicely done. Look at you go. Let's see if we get 3 more here. Tony Pena.
Pirate.
Cardinals.
Might have been a Cardinal here.
Cardinal, yes.
Okay.
Real bad picture of his teeth, too.
But he was I always remembered him because he was the first catcher that stuck the leg out. He wasn't like traditional stance.
Yes, it was him, and then Benito Santiago made it famous. Wally Joyner.
Angel at this point.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Might be too obscure. I mean, I know who he is because I'm a dork, but he might be a little too obscure for most people. Dave Martinez.
He
played forever.
I think he was an Expo here.
He was a Cub.
Okay, well, he would be an he was an Expo before, maybe. I don't know.
let's see if we can get you one more before we end this. How about this? Ken Griffey Sr. in 88.
88, I believe he was still a Red.
He was not.
Was he a Mariner already?
He was not.
What was he?
A Brave.
Did not know he played for the Braves.
The Atlanta Brave. I will do this.
And yes, Darren, Pondwater did.
There you go. Ken Griffey
He was
Braves.
172 years old there.
Let's do. Yes, he did. By the way, he told us he was going to start doing that because fuck you. So let's see. So we got to get you out of here on a good note. Let's see. I'm not going to give you a gimme though either. Let's see. Joe Necro might be fun.
Indian.
Nope.
One of them was an Indian. One of them was a twin.
This one was the twin.
Okay.
I'm not going to count that one. Let's do. Ooh, Harold Reynolds. Look at that. Groper.
Mariner.
He was a Mariner here. I didn't realize Eddie Murray moved around so much. He played for like 11 teams. I didn't know.
He would have been an Indian at that point, wouldn't he?
He was an Oriole still.
Okay.
Fat
ass Eddie Murray.
I need a good one. Come on. Give me a good player that moved around a bunch. That's what I want to end on. I've seen a couple, but they were selling like their first team. They spent a lot of time, and they just got traded 48 times after.
They didn't have a lot of free agency back then, so
they did not. My first favorite player, Steve Buechele.
Mariner?
Chicago Cubs. He was a Ranger. Chicago Cubs legend. Here we go. Ken Tekulve.
Oh, Jesus. Was he an Angel?
No.
Royal?
No.
Brave?
No. This was only his second team. And this was his fourth season with that team.
No idea then.
Philadelphia Phillies. So he led the league in games appeared in for pitchers. 78, he had 91. 79, he had 94. I'm sorry, four times. 82, 85. 87, he appeared 90 games. But he only had 91 wins up to this point.
Because he was a relief pitcher.
But he had 179 saves, which is pretty good for back then.
He's no John Franco, but...
And by the way, just one of the goofiest pitching motions and ugliest sons of bitches you'll ever find. Like go out of your way to find his Pittsburgh Pirates penguin pictures because they're bananas. Let's see. Gary Gaetti's probably too obvious.
Twin.
Yep. Don Sutton.
Angel.
Yep. Okay. See if I can get you 3 in a row. This card's beat to shit. Don't like that.
You need gloves. Not for Don Sutton, you don't.
It's in the page, but it's beat to. It's Ozzie Guillen, the one I saw.
Ozzie Guillen was a White Sox.
He was. Cecil Fielder. This is one we'll end on if you get it right.
He was a Blue Jay there in 88.
You nailed it, buddy. The Blue Jays.
And much skinnier as well.
Anything else we want to discuss? I enjoyed that. I have 4 more books of these, so we can do this more.
In fact, we should do a show of nothing but this.
I'm in.
I don't know, man. What's going on in your life?
I mean, I can just read
people like to hear what we are doing.
I could just read you the future stars, and I think that would be fun because I just saw one. It was Kevin Elster,
Met
Al Leiter,
Blue Jay at that point.
Who's a Yankee here. Sweet Lou Piniella.
88, he'd have been a Yankee as well.
He was. So what's going on in my life? So again, this kind of got sprung on me today where I'm really looking into this this trading card business idea. And again, I don't plan on making a lot of money doing it. It's just something I think I would enjoy doing, the inventorying and selling and things like that. Work has been just an absolute shit show.
Same. Hoping to change that soon.
Yes. The last 2 days have been much better than the rest of the week. Saturday I worked, and it was probably the most I'd been on my feet at work in a long time. It was just one thing after the other. Kids are doing great. They're almost done with school. Jack will start private school next year.
My kids started or ended school 2 days ago. Jonathan back to work today.
Where's he work at?
With me.
By the way, your son, great kid. I enjoyed my spending time with him in Indianapolis.
I beat him regularly, so it works out.
That checks out. I believe that.
What's going on in Darren Staley's life? We'll give him 10 seconds to catch up.
I don't understand why, like, we just don't send him the link to be a part of the show. 1984, Ronnie Millsap's What? Does what go for these days in the album? But so I to kind of get this, because Colin and I, we're going to have a social media presence also. So to kind of kickstart this, the big thing these days with trading cards is, doing the live pack opens on the air. So
do you have a pack we could open right now?
I don't. I just bought a box.
When you get some home. Magic the Gathering cards, and I'll call you a nerd.
I mean, we could do that. I mean, Colin lives like 4 blocks from my house. So, I mean, we can make that happen. But I just bought a box. It's called a hobby box of baseball cards for this year. And it's guaranteed an autograph card. So I'll be, when I get that, Colin and I will be getting together, and I'll be doing a live open of that card. But I don't know is, because I get attached to things. So I'm worried that, like, if I get like one I really like let's say I get a Pete Crow Armstrong card, I'm like, yeah, I'm not selling that shit.
Who?
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Who's that?
The guy that's going to beat your ass for the next 15 years.
Unless he blows his arm out. That's
an awful thing to say.
It happens.
But, like, if I get a player I like and it's an autograph card, I'm like, yeah, that's mine. Like, I'm not selling that one. And that's going to be the hardest part, right? You have to be able to.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Well, I just said that's the hardest part is you have to be able to separate the things you like from business, right? And I
don't know what Pondwater's doing in the chat, but
those are called condoms, by the way.
Ooh.
So in Darren Staley's life, he says he's waiting to see whether he gets accepted to law school or run for NC legislature again, and he's working. Darren, I found out since he started participating in these shows, and me and him also run into each other when we watch the live streams of Corey Ryan Forrester. Darren's a much better human being than I am.
Well, that's not hard, but
and apparently way smarter than me too. Because
North Carolina legislature.
My sister is a lawyer. My sister's a lawyer in North Carolina.
By the way, Darren, where are you going to law school? I'll call them and find out if you got accepted.
On the air.
This is Timmy C. I need to know if Darren Staley got into law school. If not, he's running for magistrate for Charlotte County, North Carolina.
Running for coroner,
which is odd because that doesn't seem like it should be an elected position. Like,
yeah, coroner should
have some medical background.
Like, to me, coroner should be unopposed every year. Like, until that guy dies.
But
no one else should run.
Why would you run for that unless you're
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. NC House 94th District. Oh, so he's running to the State House of Representatives. He ran for North Carolina Senate last year.
Did you win? Obviously not.
Well, no. That's just a dick thing to say.
What's your platform?
But here's
his platform should be Drunken Pop at every house.
And he's just going to do Everyone Gets a Ronnie Millsap's album. But what I found interesting researching these card packs, right? They're guaranteed autograph cards. So the baseball one I bought was $230 somewhere in there. Billy Sellers has his own podcast. We're going to have to stop that shit. You don't need competition. The NFL, WWE, and NBA have 2 autograph cards per box.
Right. Well, we've learned that wrestling
and those are $500
aren't real.
And they're $500
real names.
$500 pop.
Unless you get a Brock Lesnar, that is actually his real name.
Did you see his recent picture with him with straight hair?
No, but I saw his daughter, and holy fuck, I'm scared.
Yeah, she's a beast, and I mean that in all the best ways possible.
Yeah, because if you don't,
she'll
kill you, and then he'll kill you.
But he looks like he's a jeweler from like 1908.
That's awesome.
It's pretty great. Like, really, the only thing, and I now need to find the picture, because really the only thing he's missing is like the chain pocket watch. But as I'm talking to you about this, he might have had
in a suit.
Yes, he's in a suit and
it could be
a vest,
suit, not the hair so much.
So let's see. It's got to be close here. Let's do this.
Was this at the shot put field where?
No. I
Maya?
hope not. No, of course not. I can't find it.
Manufacturing, voting rights, anti-gerrymander. Do they still gerrymander people?
Oh yes. What?
Healthcare in Spanish,
especially in
Spanish
rural areas.
in rural areas. Why has it got to be in Spanish?
Yeah, he looks like Cody. Cody turned into the Hulk. Dude, gimmick. When Cody gets mad, he turns into Brock Lesnar.
Or into Hulk Hogan. That would be better.
I don't think it would. Would it be better? I don't think it would be.
Especially, Hulk Hogan, I prefer it in Spanish than
Hulk Hogan. Not so popular these days.
I like Hulk Hogan. He's got a good beer.
I've never had one. Also, it's going to take more than a good beer when you're a shit human being. Do we have to go over this again? So here's...
Just because he's a liar and a racist doesn't make him... Well, I guess that does kind of make him...
Yeah, that's... You're batting 1,000 so far. Just because... I'm really glad you stopped. Listen, especially after the talk we had last night, you're like, listen, hold on a minute. Just because you're like, maybe.
By the way, Darren Staley throwing his whole platform out here. I'd vote for you, Darren.
I would too.
Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Doesn't matter. That shouldn't matter. It's just whatever his platform is. I like
He's
it.
a libertarian.
Higher teacher pay, social safety net for disaffected workers and the working poor. I like all of it. Small business regulatory reform, also to carve small businesses out of regulation.
I'm not in. No, I disagree with higher teacher pay.
Have you met children?
I've met teachers.
Okay. Let's.
My sister's a teacher.
My sister. Let's go to this. I don't need audio, so we can just do the window.
What are we doing?
There you go. There's Brock.
Which one's the new
in the middle, on the right stable.
Oh, this one. Okay. Duh, I was looking at all the thumbnails. What is he doing? Who's on the left, by the way?
I have no idea. By the way, shout out to Sable, still looking good. Looking fantastic.
Yeah, she looks better than Brock. What is he doing?
You better hope he doesn't watch this show because you're gonna die.
Fight me. I'm more scared of his daughter.
And then Darren Staley told you to suck it very kindly also.
I can work with making higher pay. I might go with that. But my problem with teachers is not necessarily that
I did not see the show going this way tonight.
That they don't work hard. I mean, I guess I would attach it to the saying, those who can do, and those who can't do, teach. And the teachers that I've met pretty much just can't do life.
And those who can't teach, teach gym.
Or most coaches teach gym.
Well, that was School of Rock.
But my problem is that just learn how the world works if you're a teacher. I deal with the public a lot, man, and teachers are some of the worst. Teachers and nurses, absolutely the worst people to deal with. I don't understand it.
I'm trying to, it's been a minute. Well, I went to college from 2010 to 2015 on and off, but part-time because I was working also.
Oh, don't even get me on college professors.
Well, hold on, shit, Brick. I wasn't done talking. So, high school, I don't remember having any problems with any of my teachers. Well, there was one, but
are All right, as a student,
lot of it
I would not have a problem with teachers, and I think teachers do a fabulous job. As far as teachers in the actual world, you're not in the classroom all the time.
Well,
like,
again,
learn how to deal with adults.
One of our probably our best stories and more famous ones from over the years, Johnny Bench, Hall of Fame. What does his ex-wife say? Hall of Fame catcher. Like terrible human being. Like, was that what she said?
Yeah,
Was something along those lines. So high school, I rarely had an issue with the teacher. I had a couple, but I was also a teenager and fairly outspoken. In college, I would say the majority of my experiences were great, with one exception. Now, granted, I didn't go to a big school. I went to the local Purdue branch up here, but with one exception, and it genuinely disappointed me because I was actually excited to learn about this topic, and then it ended up not being that. So I was for communications to become a sports broadcaster and journalist until I became disenfranchised with journalists in the whole journalism space, 8 years ago. So I took, as an elective, I took feminism over the course of history because I'm like, you know what? I would like to know about.
I'm sorry, you took what?
Feminism in history. I didn't stutter. And if the class was legit, I'd take it again because I dropped out of this one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm like, you know what? I don't know a lot about, the accomplishments of the opposite gender over time. I'm not aware of it. I would love to learn about that. So I'm sitting in class. By the way, I made it 8 days before I dropped out of that class because I quickly found out from this professor that this was not going to be a lineage of women in the workplace and the New York linen fire and all this other stuff. This class, which by the way, the material was not this. She made it this. Was men, you're assholes, and I'm going to tell you why. So I'm sitting in the front row.
I love that you took this class thinking you were going to survive it.
I'm sitting in the front row looking like this. Every day I'm just like, God damn it. Like, and then I dropped out one day. I went to her office like, hey, I thank you for having me. I'm dropping out of this class. She goes, well,
by the way, class 3, he sat in front and said, I'm just here to get laid.
Oh, that's not the school to do that at. But she was like, why? You can't handle the material? I said, no, I can't handle you. And that is
question on day 2. Why do y'all not shave your pits?
I don't know if it was that type of I don't think they were hippies. I guess that's transcended hippies now too. We moved on past that too.
Trust me, anyone into feminism is a hippie.
I think my wife likes the idea, and she shaves her pits.
What?
I mean, she doesn't go around like burning bras and screaming shit, but I mean, she shaves her pits still.
Who?
My wife. My wife.
Are you sure? Maybe she waxes them.
Oh,
Darren Staley putting his resume out there. Hold on.
Yeah, just
he has a master's degree in legal studies.
If you live in North Carolina, vote for this man. Please don't call me.
Where are you going to lawyer school at? Where are you hoping to get accepted? By the way, is Darren Staley in his 20s? I assumed he was our age.
I assume that too. Well, he references Ronnie Millsaps a lot if he was in the 20s.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to where to do law school at, my sister did it at the University of Northern Coastal Carolina. I think it was UNC.
No, they just went to Coastal Carolina. 50. Don't go to school, man.
50.
Yeah. Don't go to school at 50.
He's gonna be Rodney Dangerfield and back to school. Let me tell you.
You got to learn a triple Lindy if you're going back to school. Also,
Sam Kinison is underrated in that movie. Just screaming in people's faces.
That's what he
phenomenal.
did.
The movie's phenomenal. He does. I mean, Sam Kinison, if you go walk and watch his shit, a lot of it doesn't age well. There's some you're just like, son of a bitch, that's funny. And
I like him on Married with Children. He was good as.
Did he have a recurring role? Like, or was it one time?
No, I think he was on like 2 episodes. It's like the ghost of. They did like a Christmas Carol episode, and he was like the ghost of Christmas past or whatever.
So he does this joke, and it's one of those jokes literally every part of it's perfect. And he was the right voice to tell the joke. So he tells this joke. He's talking about all the camera, and this is 87, and you see all the camera crews, in just famine-stricken countries. And they're like, for $1 a day, you can feed these families in wherever. And he goes, well, the camera guy probably could have gave him a sandwich, but that's fine. And he's like, what we need to do? He goes, quit sending these people food. He's like, what you do is you send them box trucks. And an X amount of people. And what you say is like, hey, we were watching some of your commercials over on the television in the States. And he goes, we noticed something is, you guys are always in a famine. See, that's it. That was the punchline of that joke.
Let me see if I can work it up. How about you give him your fucking sandwich for the day? Oh!
It's pretty close. So he goes, we just noticed that, we've been bringing you food and we're bringing you water over here for a while. And he goes, we had a realization today that you guys wouldn't be starving if you moved where the fucking food is.
Love it.
Sam Kinison was amazing. Unfortunately, the other thing about the unfortunate part about Sam Kinison,
cocaine.
Yes, but that's not even what killed him. That's the sad part. Is that I had the same time about Andrew Dice Clay, and I believe it. Sam Kinison came up in the perfect time for Sam Kinison. I think Kinison makes it farther today than Andrew Dice Clay did, but not much. He was a preacher. So Kinison, he headlined the Silverdome in 1990, right? That's batshit. And
he's no Hogan or Andre, but
correct. Yeah. And then he gets married in 92, I think. Completely leaves the comedy scene and gets clean and becomes a preacher again. And then gets killed by a drunk driver in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, that is the most crazy shit. And this is also a great line from Sam Kinison. We have debts in America too. We just don't live there, asshole. We should just do a show on stand-up because stand-up's my shit. I've studied stand-up forever. George Carlin is my all-time favorite, and it's not close. Well, now, Bill Burr is probably closing the gap, but it's still pretty far.
All right, let's get out of here, TJ. We're over an hour.
So before we leave, you should go here. YouTube.com.
Or scan that little QR code right up there.
Or scan the QR code here in the corner at Talk Wrestling at Drunken Pop. And of course, if you go to, let's see if the shirt's still here. It's not. If you go to jumpinthepond.com, you can get all of our t-shirts, which there will be Drunken Pop merch showing up shortly. And according by demand of Dave, there will be a trucker's hat. By the way, this is a solid threesome. Carlin, Sam Kinison, and Cat Williams. It's good. Wait, do you mean Cat or Robin? You mean Cat or Robin?
No, Cat Williams. Kick him out.
Mine would be George Carlin, Bill Burr, Lewis Black. Probably my top three.
Robin Williams, go George Carlin, Eddie Murphy.
Good. Solid one.
Richard Pryor.
Solid. Pryor's my fourth, for sure. The top five is real hard after that.
Nope, I'm sorry. Got to kick Pryor out. I would go with Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary, very funny. Bernie Mac is also very good.
Dave Chappelle, solid.
I prefer him in like skits. I don't.
Dennis Leary allegedly stole the asshole song from Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. also very funny. I know he's a little problematic trying to jack off in front of everybody, but
the sad part is he's like, yeah, I did it. So the fuck what? Now he's one of those guys.
And by the way, what was the Jimmy Kimmel's girlfriend at the time?
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, I'd ask her if I could jack off in front of her too. So,
but he's one of those guys like,
hey, watch this.
I jerked off in front of people. Somehow I'm the victim. I'm a victim of cancel culture. Like, no, you're a tool. There's a difference. But we still do the Ram Network, www.patreon.com/Ram Network. And we still do a litany of wrestling shows there. You can have fun with us there too for how much a month?
$1 hair a month.
$1.
That's cheap. Which, by the way, Pondwater, if you're still watching, you're not behind her anymore. We got to do a world-class flashback.
Well, there's a lot of shows we need to do. So, full disclosure before we leave here, we've been kind of light on shows because between natural disasters and people who work schedule,
earthquake and hurricane,
earthquake, typhoon.
Yeah,
we just have not had time and days on vacation every other week. So
yeah,
we'll get back on that here pretty soon. Anything else before we close?
Please subscribe to our YouTube and tell other people to subscribe.
Yes,
we're trying to grow it, and we are growing extremely fast,
real fast. Like we kind of don't know what to do with it, but
our goal is 5K by the end of this month. We started this month at like 2K, and we are already up over 3,500 now.
Yeah, that's bananas.
So please tell your friends.
Thank you guys again for that, by the way.
Exactly.
And now let's do this. And now for something completely different.
Drunken pop.